истинный в огне. Кто читает свои сны, поклоняюсь темноте.
Michael had found out about Apex Legends a few days earlier, and he wanted to try it for himself, because he had also heard that Apex Legends was dubbed the Fortnite killer. He turned on his Xbox, downloaded Apex Legends, and started the game. He had to play it through the tutorial, and he picked the legend he thought was the coolest, Wraith. Michael played through the tutorial and finally hopped onto his first match. He had already learned the basics of how to play from the tutorial, and he also learned how to use Wraith's ability, which he wanted to try as soon as he could. Michael then hopped into a match, and was put into a squad with 2 other players, but he didn't really care as he just wanted to play the game. The match then started, and Michael had landed at the hydro dam. He started to run around and look for guns when he suddenly found a shotgun and a pistol. At that moment, an enemy player came out of nowhere, and Michael pulled out the shotgun and then killed the enemy player. Michael looted him and got some extra supplies and an assault rifle, which he traded for the pistol. After moving to the center and killing a few more enemies, Michael could finally use his ultimate ability, Dimensional Rift. He saw an enemy player and created a rift in front of himself and behind the enemy. Michael then went through the rift, but something was off. Instead of doing the normal ability, Michael's screen was going dark until Wraith was just floating in nothingness. Then something started to happen. A rift started to open up in Michael's room. It started to swallow his entire room, and it eventually did, taking Michael as well. Michael then blacked out. Michael then started to open his eyes, but he couldn't see anything. It was just darkness. It was as if Michael was blind. He started to panic, and so Michael started to scream, but he couldn't hear himself. He could feel his vocal cords moving in his throat, and so he tried to scream even louder, but he still couldn't hear anything. Michael then tried to move around, but he couldn't feel anything around him either. It was like he was floating through space, but Michael could still breathe, and he thought to touch his arm. He could still feel himself, but nothing around him. And so Michael came to the horrifying conclusion that he was somehow stuck in an endless black void of nothingness. And so let this be a warning for anyone who decides to use Wraith, to watch out for her ability, or you might end up stuck, just like Michael, and being alive in something that is worse than death.